we're going to move into winners and losers of the week now.
Sure.
My guest this week, of course, is my dad, who is a retired history and politics educator, and has been joining me for a discussion of the Air Canada strike, which will be out with the full episode on Saturday. Um, so, generally we go with losers of the week first, and then we'll end with winners. Do you have a loser of the week for us, Dad?
Yes, I do. I have a loser of the week, and I think this loser could almost be consistently every week. So might actually be unfair to actually be presenting it. But my loser of the week is Mother Nature. I think that again this week we've seen a number of things happen with regards to wildfires, with regards to severe storms, with regards to decisions made on the part of the government in the United States, in the province of Ontario, and by the Canadian government, and moving forward with economic decisions that really may have short term, again, just like we were talking about with labor unions, might have short term benefits, but there are going to be long term implications. And I just think that we're seeing, with what we've seen over the last number of months, as well as what's being experienced in Southern Europe right now still, and with regards to wildfires, heat, air quality. Mother Nature is taking another hit, and there's nobody there really of any decision-making process that are really doing a wonderful job from my position in terms of saying we got to turn this around somehow.
All right. I think that's a good loser. My loser this week is Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
Ah,
As I addressed at the top of the show, this week, the Texas Republicans passed their new congressional maps, which pretty much guarantees the congressional Republicans in Washington five additional of Texas seats that are currently represented by Democrats. Um, and so while that may make him appear to be a winner to some people on getting that passed, in reality, um, Gavin Newsom has announced that California is going to offset that. Kathy Hochul has announced that New York is going to add to the Democrats' tally. Tim Walz is currently exploring the possibility in Minnesota. Wes Moore is currently exploring the possibility in Maryland. The possibility is currently being explored by J.B. Pritzker in Illinois. The reality is that in doing this, Greg Abbott completely underestimated, and frankly, I think a lot of people underestimated the response of what the Democrats would do. And so he is actually going to, in gaining them the five Texas seats, the numbers that I'm seeing are probably it's going to end up being somewhere between 15 and 20 seats across the country that he's going to cost them. And that the Republicans do not have enough big states to make up that margin elsewhere. Texas was their big power play, and so he's a loser in the week for actually costing the Republicans the seats
right.
that he was going to pick them up.
And yeah, and I had actually thought about saying Greg Abbott too, and actually one of the things around that is really everybody's a loser in the United States around that, because it just shows greater divisiveness and what's going on. So,
Absolutely, yeah,
yeah,
no, definitely, it really is not a
right.
good situation. All right, so winners of the week.
Yeah,
Which is how we end. Who's your winner for the week?
My winner of the week is somebody that I had never really heard of before in fact, yesterday. And that is a New York Times journalist named Debrah Kamin, who
Okay.
is the real estate uh, uh, writer for the Times. And she did an expose yesterday on looking at fair land and communities across the United States. She ended up getting an individual in Arkansas and to talk related to a trend. And the trend is that there are, and I don't even know, Noam, if you know about this, but there are a large number of white heterosexual only communities that
Hmm.
are being developed in various parts of the United States. And
Hmm.
Debrah Kamin's, in terms of dealing with it from, fair property price considerations, she got this gentleman to talk in Arkansas and also was able to identify other places in the United States where white only and heterosexuals were criteria to actually owning land and creating sort of their own um, uh, communities, communes, if you want to call them that. I'm sure they would not like that. And in the truest sense of showing how there's a movement that is going back in time significantly. And by her willing to actually look at it from more of just a real estate perspective, she's exposed this whole style of living that is being created that I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of people who believe in diversity in the United States had no idea has been really developing and expanding in Trump's United States.
Absolutely. Well, and to be clear, it's completely unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Um, right? Like you cannot put those sorts of restrictions in place. Um, on the other hand, there's a part of me that kind of goes, if those people all want to go off and live together, fuck it, let them. I don't want them around.
Well, it says something really, and we've also had our own circumstances that have been
Mhm.
identified in Canada this week too, where individuals are trying to take land ownership for other
Yeah,
purposes too. So, without
yeah,
getting into it, but it is a big concern, I think, for
it is.
anyone dealing with North American culture.
Absolutely. No, it's a very valid winner, and she's very deserving. My winner for the week is Mark Hancock, who is the president of CUPE National here in Canada. That's the Canadian Union of Public Employees for any of our foreign listeners. And he's someone that I had heard of briefly as someone who follows labor news when he won the national presidency a number of years ago. And I followed that just because I remember Fred Hahn from my days involved in the NDP, and Fred was who he was up against, and so I was very much wanting Fred to win that at the time. Um, so I knew his name from then, but I hadn't heard it since. And he, very much in the way that Sean Fain did in the States with the strike against the Big Three, kind of catapulted himself into being kind of the national labor symbol. Mark Hancock, I think, in tearing up that order and in responding as forcefully as he did to the media and in general while on the picket lines really kind of cemented himself and his role in the Canadian labor movement moving forward. earned what will go down as a big win for the flight attendants, and I think has kind of won the week in Canadian politics. So he's my winner for the week.
Right. Very good. Nice.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is another episode of No Power Panel. Thank you for joining me, Dad.
You're welcome.
Uh,
You're welcome.
Absolutely. I
I really
think
enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did. I hope we'll have you back the next time we all need to learn something. Maybe we'll have a teaching Tim segment. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Next week, I will be joined for a discussion by another guest. I believe next week we'll be kind of diving deep into the Israel Gaza situation. So stay tuned for that. And thanks for joining us. Have a good week.